What up, Crypto Warriors? It's Sergeant Crypto back at it again. Today is Monday, August 17, 2020. Japan's economy shrinks at record rate, slammed by pandemic. Like, no duh. This is coming from AP. Japan's economy shrank at an annual rate of 27.8% in April to June, the worst contraction on record as the coronavirus pandemic slammed consumption trade, and according to government data released on Monday. This is the worst drop since World War II, but the Cabinet Office said comparable records began in 1980. The previous worst was during the first quarter of 2009, during the global financial crisis back then, when Bitcoin was first released. How are they solving it? Just as is true in the US and many other countries, a combination of near zero interest rates, Japan actually have negative interest rates, and massive asset purchases by central bank have helped keep stock prices relatively steady. Think about that. They're all doing the same thing. No one is trying to think outside the box, or no one is trying to take that medicine right now. Everyone is trying to kick the can down the road, put a band-aid on a situation. However, this will only lead to more financial ruin in the future if we don't take care of this situation right now. And I'm going to get off my soapbox before I stand up here and go down a deep rabbit hole. Next, lending protocol Aave eyes tokenized mortgages with launch of version 2. Think about that. This right here is kind of the spark which will lead to the end of banks, in my opinion. All right, because they want to continue to do the same things over and over again that they've done over the last almost full century. Well, yeah, the last century, because the Federal Reserve came into power in 1913. So over the last century, whatever they've been doing, it's not working. But with these protocols, they don't need to be a middleman anymore. And we've seen that with Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the first one to lead us or give us that idea that there doesn't need to be a middleman. There doesn't need to be a bank. We could transact with each other without the help of big daddy government, or without the help of a central bank telling us when and where to send our money. Now we'll be able to have protocols where we're able to have mortgages and pay for property without the need for a bank or a lending company or whatever the case is, right? We can all do it. Everything could be, it's all in the code, basically. And this is the solution to this problem right here. This central bank keeping stocks prices high, or keeping them at a level, when it's supposed to be below zero, or whatever the case is. A lot of companies should have went out of business already. But because central banks are keeping them in business by giving them the liquidity they need, then they're staying in business. With things like this will include more people into the fold. And again, we don't need banks and that crony capitalism that's been happening moving forward. And this is just the start. Okay, this is just the start. Decentralized money market Aave has released specifications for version 2 of its protocol, as the project eyes 1 billion locked under contract, according to DeFi Pulse. That's amazing. They have almost a whole billion by themselves locked up with their Aave protocol. They're partnering with tokenization firm Realty to bring home mortgages to DeFi. Realty did not they didn't return. They didn't want to talk to CoinDesk. All right. Version 2 will also include transactions fee optimization, such as native support for smart contract. The point is, this is big news, and this is just a little spark that is making mortgages come onto the blockchain. We will see how it turns out. We will see. This is great news. Next, this is coming from Decrypt. And by the way, give me a follow on Twitter at SergeantCrypto99, and Decrypt gave me a follow, so I leveled up. Bam, bam. Crypto locked in DeFi clocks record $6 billion. Think about that. Just on Friday, the amount locked in crypto hit 5 billion. So this happened. Yeah, this story was as of yesterday, August 16th. So within one day, we saw it went from 5 billion to 6 billion. I could say by the end of the month, it'll probably reach almost 20 billion. It's insane, insane, because people are realizing they could get a better yield. All right, they could get better interest locking up their tokens on DeFi than trying to keep their money in the banks where they're not getting anything at all. The amount locked in DeFi hits $6 billion. That's $1 billion since Friday. DeFi refers to decentralized finance. We know that. So here it is. Locking funds on DeFi protocol is rather like depositing them in a bank, albeit in such a way that the user maintains custody of them and can withdraw them any time. Now, you can't do that at a bank. If you lock up your money in a certificate of deposit, a CD, it's locked up for a specific amount of time and you're getting near zero interest rates. And if you take it out early, you have to pay a penalty. Not with DeFi. Banks are on their way out. They either have to adapt and incorporate DeFi into their system, or they'll be gone within the next decade. This decade right here, 2020, is the decade of blockchain. Next, Vitalik Buterin, Ethereum 2.0 presents a much harder challenge than we thought. Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin says he would freely admit that Ethereum 2.0 is much harder to implement from a technical perspective than he had expected. It is hard. I've stated this in the past. It's like trying to fix a moving vehicle. You can't change the tires on something while it, in a car while it's moving. You can't fix the transmission while the vehicle is in motion. And that's what the problem is. Buterin made his remarks during a debate with Bitcoin maximalist Samson Mow on Peter McCormick's podcast, and that's the What Bitcoin Did podcast on August 16th. So that was yesterday. Okay, I'm gonna listen to that podcast today, and this is a answer to what he asked him. So I definitely freely admit that Ethereum 2.0 is much harder than we expected to implement from a technical perspective. I definitely don't think that we discovered any fundamental flaws that make it impossible, and I do think it will be finished. It's just a matter of time, and it's actually been progressing quite quickly lately. And what the thing is, I've been in this space since 2017, and I've heard about ETH 2.0 since 2017. This is why I like Cardano in this aspect, because although they took a long time for them to launch their Cardano ADA protocol and Shelly mainnet and all that stuff, they did everything step by step. They didn't rush. They had it peer reviewed by other scientists, cryptographers, mathematicians. Like they took their time and made sure everything was done correctly. ETH launch, and as a matter of fact, Charles Hoskinson was also a co-founder of Ethereum. So he, I think he saw what they were doing, didn't like it, and moved on to Cardano. And yeah, but again, the whole point is you can't fix a moving vehicle, man. You can't, just can't. It just doesn't work that way. You got to stop and then work on it. However, the fact that this is software and it's been released in the wild, so to speak, you can't shut it down. It's decentralized. So you can't shut down the nodes. You can't turn it off. It's not a computer where you can turn it off. All right. And speaking of computer, Samson Mow had criticized Ethereum proponents for purportedly shifting the narrative. It's okay to pivot and evolve, but there needs to be a healthy disclaimer that this thing is experimental. Everything right now in crypto is experimental. Even Bitcoin. Bitcoin is one big experiment. One big experiment right now. So him being a Bitcoin maximalist, you got to take it with a grain of salt. Mao continued to claim that a lot of Ethereum people are saying Ethereum is money now and whatnot, and now it's competing with Bitcoin. I don't think it's competing. Yeah, that's a new narrative right now. They're trying to say that it's money, but it's not. It's a protocol. All right, it's different than Bitcoin, I should say. Even I'm not sure what Ethereum is, or what it does or what it competes with. Is it a world computer or is it money? And that's a valid question right there. When I first heard of Ethereum, I heard of it as a world computer, and you're able to build apps and things of that nature on it. And to try to change the narrative to make it money, not so much. And this is coming from Vitalik. I definitely did not initiate the whole Ether is money thing. The Ethereum Foundation did not initiate it. That's something that really did not come from, that really did come from the outside. So, you know, even Vitalik is saying that, hey, we didn't start that ETH is money thing. The fact that it's ETH is money is, it was started by basically Ethereum maximalists. All right, let's discuss this in the comment section below. Please smash the like, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified when I upload new videos, and let me know what you think. Do you think that ETH 2.0 will eventually launch, or will there be another delay of another 3 years or whatever the case is, or another year? You know, we're seeing that they have their testnet right now, and it was released this month, and we will see how things progress. We'll see. Thanks for watching, and it's Dr. Crypto, and I'm out. Peace.